Hey family, listen, I had to come on here really fast and share something about, oh gosh, I can do a whole podcast and I really should, about this topic of when people show you who they are, why the hell aren't you believing them? Like, really ask yourself that question. So for me, right, and this is, I'm speaking from my own personal experiences. Some people say I'm too hard, I'm too tough, I'm too quick to cut people off, I'm too, this and this and that. But because of that, I saved myself a lot of peace. I saved myself a lot of pain. I saved myself a lot of time, right? But when I look at women in particular, so this is for my ladies. When I look at women in particular, especially when it comes to relationships, right? Yeah, no, I've been married 20 years. I've been out the game, blah, blah, blah. But there's a reason why I have a happy, healthy, and successful marriage for 20 years, right? And it's because of a lot of these things that I want to share, right? So as I'm thinking about why women in particular, when a man or a significant other or somebody shows you who they are, why aren't you believing them? Why aren't you believing them? You really need to ask yourself that question. One thing that LaTanya Taylor said in one of my podcasts, my very first episode, was the answers are in the question. So we got to ask ourselves some questions. So when I look at it, I know this is very unpopular. This is a very unpopular opinion. But it's, you're not believing them more than likely due to your lack of self-love. And again, this goes back to episode 2 of the Release the Chains podcast. We talked about self-love, and Chantel shared her story, which was so just beautiful. You gotta go and listen to it. You gotta go and listen to it, because all of us have been there at one point, male or female. But it's your lack of self-love. Because when you're in a place of love, self-love, there's a lot you won't tolerate. There's a lot you won't deal with. It's just, you're like, nah, I'm more worthy than that. I'm more worthy of it. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. But even in my marriage, I have to look at that. Oh, no, hell no, I'm not putting up with, I don't care how long we've been together. I don't care what foundation we've built. I don't care nothing. You gonna treat me a certain way. There's gonna be certain things that are gonna need to happen, right? In order for, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm worthy of that. And that's another thing, another reason why a lot of women do not believe people when they show them who they are, is because they don't know their power. Women want to be married. Women want to have love. Women want to, they want this fairy tale or whatever it is, right? And it's natural. It's natural. We're human. We're naturally supposed to, not be with people, but like build, with people and have companionship. Right? That's natural. And it's okay to feel that way. But the problem when it's not okay is when you want that more than you want respect, more than you want your peace, more than you want whatever expectations that you have. A lot of times we want that stuff, that fairy tale, that companionship, that whatever it is, that safety, that whatever it is for you, more than we want the respect. And so that goes into women forgetting that you're the prize. You're the piece. You're the queen. You're what he needs, not just what he wants, honey. But if you really look at it, especially as a married woman for almost 20 years, if you really look at it, women, we run this shit. Like, for real. Like, if you look at your homes, if you look at your mom, your grandma, you look at your aunties, women, this world, I told my son the other day, probably yesterday, that this world would be nothing without a woman. And I'm not like, all super feminist and I'm speaking truth. And men know this. This world would be nothing without a woman. This is why I believe God is female. Because we give birth, we give life to things. And when I say life to things, not just humans, but we give life to our homes, we give life to relationships, we give life to process and systems within the home and all of these things. So Women have to remember who they are and that they're the prize. And I think once you can really sit with that, it's going to elevate your self-love. And when people show you who they are, you will walk the fuck away. And that's just the reality of the situation. So why don't you believe someone when they show you who they are? Lack of self-love, and you forget who you are, and you want something way more. You want whatever that is, way more than you want the respect that you deserve and that you desire. So really think about that, you guys, because it's like I always want to talk about women and relationships, and because I feel like through my experience, even as a married woman, I can help a lot of women in particular, because I'm a woman and I have these experiences with the opposite sex, heal themselves and release their chains. There's so much I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about something else that we shared on the second episode about self-love and sales, and how, Chantel was talking about, having to get herself together first before she finds love and all that stuff. And I talked to her about that afterwards, and I told her that's not true. Because why we think as women, we got to get ourselves together and we got to come to the relationship whole and all of this stuff, when he ain't coming whole. He's hurt. He has to heal. Why? When I met my husband, you guys, I had $5 to my name. I was broken. I'm talking about homeless. I'm talking about not believing in myself. I was broke. I was broken. I was broke and broken. Internally, mentally. But when I met him, he saw something in me. He saw the woman in me. He saw his queen in me. And we went through the process together. He loved me enough to be with me in my brokenness. That's a real man. A man that's going to show up while you are broken and help heal you in your brokenness. That's a real man. And that's a foundation we will never break. That's another reason why the relationship has been so long and so healthy and so strong and so sturdy. Not perfect. Well, it is perfect. Fuck that. It is perfect. Perfect for us. So it is perfect. Hell yeah, I'm claiming that. It is absolutely perfect. So no, ladies, stop that bullshit everybody talking about. Again, these are unpopular opinions by Ari Squire, the host of the Release the Chains podcast. Okay? I just had to share that, but I just want you to really think about that. Ask yourself some questions. When people show you who they are, why don't you believe them? Have a good day, y'all.
No more chains, holding me. I got keys to be free. I can do anything.
I can be anything.